back to the Hidden Triforce for a brand new Let's Play. We have The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors here for the Nintendo Wii U. I just got my review copy and the embargo list on the 17th of this month. So I'm allowed to display up to 30 minutes of gameplay until that time. So I'm going to open up with about a 30-minute episode, and then I will be mass uploading them when that time comes. Of course, Hyrule Warriors has already been released in Japan for about a month now. And the game does not come out in the United States until, I believe, the 26th of this month, September. So I've got a little bit of a head start, and hopefully I can get the rest of this game recorded, edited, and everything put together so the Let's Play can all go live here in one day. So, Hyrule Warriors, look at this. Now, Nintendo, because they are so gracious, has taken upon themselves to claim YouTube videos and Let's Play videos which has any kind of sounds that they have made, be it a soundtrack, sound effects, etc., and also for video. So this will be a cutscene free Let's Play. Any major cutscene at the beginning or end of an episode or chapter, be it, will be removed from the video and edited out. I am terribly sorry for that. I will release a video once everything is said and done that kind of combines all of the cutscenes into one, so you can kind of get an idea of the story. But I will also be explaining the story some. This is not a spoiler-free Let's Play, so if you do not want spoilers, then stay away or mute it. I don't know, if you just want to watch and don't want to listen to me, which a lot of people don't want to listen to me anyways, that might be your best bet. So, if you're unfamiliar with what this game is, this is Hyrule Warriors, and it is just a combination of Dynasty Warriors game and the Legend of Zelda series. It's pretty much just a Dynasty game with a Zelda kind of code. It's got a bunch of Legend of Zelda themed characters, items, weapons, stages, and it's got a Zelda themed story, of course. So as you can see, we keep having these pop-ups in the bottom left, dialogue between Impa and this fairy here. So it's taken a lot of elements from the Zelda series and kind of expanding on them. Now, we've never really gotten a chance to see Impa actually kind of in real combat, the exception of Skyward Sword, where she was kind of a badass against Girahim a few times. So we're going to see a lot of our favorite Zelda characters come to life and be engaged in actual skirmishes. And the name of the game, Hyrule Warriors, is very fitting because, as you can see, Hyrule is under attack. This is not just a little battle. This is an actual war, and what I think is cool about this is it's kind of something that I've been thinking that they should have had in an actual canon Legend of Zelda game. I mean, we hear about the wars that take place, the Imprisoning War, the Seal War. You hear about Ganondorf taking over Hyrule in Ocarina of Time while Link is asleep for the 7-year slumber. But you never actually see the effects of that war. You don't see the armies fighting, the skirmishes, or anything. But here, in this game, you actually see that. You see waves of people, you see commanders, and you see the Hyrulean Knights and major leaders like Impa and Zelda actually on the battlefield and fighting to the death. So it's kind of a cool thing they've got going on here. Now, this is my first, if you want to call it, Warriors game that I've ever played. I've never played any of the other Warriors games in this series, so it's a brand new thing to me. I've got this guy here, a Dragon Knight, Volga. Little tiny cutscene, so I'm going to keep it in there. Dragon Knight Volga, kind of, I'm assuming gets his name from the dragon in Ocarina of Time. But you also will have these kind of boss fights throughout the different stages and chapters. And the enemies are just a little bit stronger. None of them are like super hard per se, but there is just kind of a lot of button mashing and taking forever and just slowly chipping away at them. As this goes over weak point smashes, essentially if you're able to induce an enemy into missing you or trying to perform his move and just failing, then it will kind of stun him where that white meter appears, and then you're able to dole out a lot of damage. And if you deplete that meter bar, then you do a ton of extra damage to him, which is fantastic. And that holds true for fights like this and larger actual stage boss fights. So, as I was saying, this is my first Dynasty game, and what comes with Dynasty games is a lot of button mashing. It's kind of repetitive in a way where you're going to be fighting off. You'll be killing thousands of enemies per stage at times, and oftentimes 80% of them will be a bokoblin or a stall child or just something that's very similar. But it's a lot of killing them. And then, to me, I'm about 7 stages in, and it has not gotten old yet, which is good because there's so many different combinations and unique moves that each character can use, so it kind of keeps things fresh for you. So he's gonna try and kill us, both Impa and Link, and he thinks that he's a badass, and he thinks that he's done it. But wait, there's more. Look at this, Triforce. It's shiny and it is bright. So yeah, we don't have the green garb yet, as you can see, but we will be getting that here momentarily. Spoiler. Um, so let's go away from him for a little bit. We've got a couple more things to do, and it's kind of introducing some characters. We got this dark wizard who's kind of talking crap about Volga, and it's just kind of a cool little thing. They have a lot of dialogue taking place during the battles, keeping you up to date on what's going on all over the map. As you can see in the top right corner, uh, the stage is quite large, and there's a lot of ground to cover, and all that red area is where there's a battle taking place or where there's monsters. So you can see there's a large portion of the map just fully engrossed with enemies that you need to wipe out. And again, mixed in with your common bokoblins or common foe, you'll have these stronger enemies like Elizabeth, uh, and they will be a little bit harder to kill, and they will definitely kind of bounce around, just like in the actual game. They're kind of like squeaky, and they bounce, and they're just kind of hard to hit because they are always moving around on you. So let's try, and there we go. Take him out. And also embedded within every uh, stage are a mixture of kind of missions, and it can be anything from taking out a troop leader to fighting off a wave of attacks, or escort missions, or beating a boss. There's a ton of different missions, many of which you will have taking place at the same time as one another. So there's definitely a lot to keep you busy. Now, as you can see, we just got the bombs, and there's a lot of different items that you will be able to acquire in Hyrule Warriors. The first of which is obviously the bombs that we just got, and they can be used within combat, but they're also used to solve a variety of puzzle-like elements or to defeat very specific enemies. And you're able to scroll through them later on once you get another item. You can see that, but you're able to scroll through your items to pick whichever one you think best suits your situation. I personally prefer the bombs to keep them out at most times because well, they blow up, and you can actually unlock mega items through little upgrade uh, items that you pick up off the ground, and it will make the bomb just humongous, and it's really cool. Also, there's a lot of areas that you can blow up, much like the actual Zelda games. There's a lot of secrets hidden around. If you see giant boulders, you can throw a bomb at it, blow it up, and get an item underneath. And it's usually a new weapon or a ton of rupees. So rupees actually are important in this game, and you actually will spin through them. Something again that I've been kind of arguing for the Zelda series, because there's never been a Zelda game where there's been a shortage of rupees, or where it's just you don't like. There's never anything to do with your rupees. There's even Skyward Sword and that half a tenth at an upgrade system. You always had enough rupees for it. It's just kind of silly. So this game definitely will make sure that you need to collect rupees and save them up, because there's a ton of cool things that you can do with it, including upgrading your character. You can add attack, defense, and kind of like skill badges, and it allows you to increase your attack power, take less damage from certain elemental attacks, or gain new abilities. You can also forge stronger weapons by combining weapons together to take on their attributes. So it's kind of a cool thing. And lastly, you can use your rupees to actually level up your characters at the end of the stage. So if Link is level 8 and you have a bunch of rupees, you might be able to push him up to level 12, which will greatly increase his attack power, defense, and otherwise abilities. So it's kind of a cool thing, because right now we're level 2, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, and you slowly gain experience for killing enemies, and rupees are just a quick way to kind of gain those extra levels. And there's, of course, a lot of different characters besides Link that you can play as, and all of them have to be upgraded. All of them have the different badges, and all of them have their unique set of weapons that you can customize. So there's a ton of things that you can spend your money on for sure. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling on about the features of this game and not what actually is kind of going on. As you can see, just defeated 500 enemies. So again, there's going to be a lot of monsters that you can kill. And what I'm working towards, well, we need to get to a keep. And that's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this game as well, is capturing keeps, which kind of boosts your morale. And when you get to a keep that's been taken over, it will have a meter that you have to deplete by killing enemies. And when it gets low, the keep boss comes out. And the keep boss is really never anything hard. It just might be a dark nut or a Lizafol, and then you kill him and you capture the keep, and it just kind of boost your teammates' morale, makes everyone fight a little stronger, and kind of gain foothold against the enemy. So it's kind of a cool feature, actually showing again, one of those things that kind of shows the conflict that's actually taking place here in the world of Hyrule. So now that we've got that, well, we got this keep almost down, I'm going to take a second to kind of explain the storyline and what happened in the cutscene at the beginning of the game that we missed. So, Link is just an ordinary student in training at the Hyrule Knight Academy. And he's just kind of a lowly guy, and Zelda wakes up from a dream, similar to the dreams that Link always has in Ocarina of Time and Skyward Sword, and even in a way, A Link to the Past. Link often starts off the games asleep and is woken by a nightmare or something of the sort. So in this game, Zelda kind of takes the role of that, and she is awoken in that manner. And Impa makes a comment about, well, maybe that tells something is going to happen to Hyrule here soon. Maybe we should kind of be on the lookout. And she looks over at the green tunic worn by the hero from long ago and says that it's best that maybe they start looking for the person that's supposed to wear that tunic and save Hyrule. Coincidentally, they then proceed to look over the training process, and Link kind of catches the eye of Princess Zelda, and she takes a fancy to him. Shortly after, again coincidentally, a battle takes place. You see a large army marching towards Hyrule, which is commanded by Volga, who we saw earlier, the Dark Wizard, and just a large amount of bokoblins, which obviously we are fighting right now. So she rushes off to the battlefield to assist, and Link is not supposed to be a part of this, but he kind of gets impatient and wants to help out, so he rushes out to the battlefield, and that is where we started this game. At the very beginning, when you saw me running out, that was right after that cutscene. So that's apparently everything that's going on right at this moment. We still have not been introduced to the backstory of why this conflict is taking place, who is leading the army, who Volga is, and why are they mad at Link or Zelda or even Hyrule, and what their end goal even is. So we're going to, now that we almost have this keep captured, gotta defeat the keep boss. It's just an armored bokoblin, as I mentioned earlier. It's just a slightly stronger version, and we're gonna kill him. And now we need to go find a fairy, and it's kind of marked on our map, so we're going to kind of run around a little bit. That keep is falling there in the middle, so it would be nice to get that. So as we can take keeps, the enemy can also reclaim keeps, so that's kind of a cool thing as well. Kind of always got to be on the move and watching out, because if you don't, then your entire ground could be lost, and even your allies can be slain or like forced out of the fight. As you can see, Impa there has a health bar, and if they take too much damage, then it's kind of like done and over with for them helping you. So you need to watch out, pay attention to your map at all times, Now that we got this keep recaptured, or captured for the first time, we are all set. So let's go ahead. She's really wanting us to go to Great Fairy. That's way down south. As you can see here, we got this area captured. So the guards are just kind of there and waiting. If they are attacked, they will probably kick some butt, because there's a lot of guards right there. And there's, as you can see, that outpost captain. There will also be enemy outpost captains that you can take care of, and that will capture that outpost. And when you capture it, a group of Hyrulean soldiers will spawn, enabling you to kind of have more of your allies in different parts of the map. So it's good to capture outposts as well. So what we're going to do, and we're semi-nearing the end here, we're going to break open this wall to visit the Great Fairy. Now this is a pretty cool part of the game. Dark Wizard dialogue, leave him alone. And we just gotta wait for Zelda to kind of get her butt moving. Yeah, I'm gonna try and take care of some of these guys to make sure that they don't interfere with our plans there in the Great Fairy Temple, or the Great Fairy Fountain, that is. And there we go. Zelda's moving again. So we need to go pray at the Fairy Fountain together. And again, this is one of those moments that kind of, it just shows the fanfare that went into the game, and the developers did a fantastic job. As you can see, this is a reference to the Great Fairy in Ocarina of Time and even Majora's Mask, except she's a lot less creepy this time. She's no longer pointy and pixelated. It doesn't look like she's going to terrorize you in your sleep. She's actually somewhat attractive now. I never knew if the Great Fairy from Ocarina of Time was supposed to be attractive, but the graphics at the time limited that, or she was supposed to be creepy, but she was very creepy to me. But from this design, she's semi-attractive. Granted, she is a fairy covered in well, vines and moss and whatever. So we're going to leave that be. Just dropped a massive bomb on some forces, and there will be several areas within the game where we call on the power of a Great Fairy to do some really kick-ass kind of move there. So now that we have done that, it's going to teach us about morale, which I've gone over a little bit already. But the tide of the battle has begun to turn in the favor of the Hyrulean forces with that bombing of such a large quantity of enemies. So we're now going to launch that counter attack and take some of their forts here, and their keeps, that is. And what we're going to try and do is work our way up to the castle. Now Zelda is leaving the battlefield, and just in time, because it's probably not safe for her to be on the battlefield, because we've got ourselves our first real boss fight. Now there is not a boss fight at the end of every stage, but many of the stages do end in a boss fight. And he's kind of, you can see him on the map, and you can also see the spider web on the map to capture a gold Skulltula. Gold Skulltulas are back from Ocarina of Time, except they're a little bit different. Within every stage of the game, there will be a gold Skulltula, and they will appear at various times and kind of at random times, and you have a limited amount of time to capture that gold Skulltula. If you do not get to it quick enough, then it will just go away. Now, you do not have to get it. It is not required to get this gold Skulltula, and I'm going to see how far away this guy is. But it gives you kind of like a piece of a puzzle, kind of like just a little collectible. If you're into completing a game 100%, you should go after them. But they're really, I mean, honestly, there's no reasoning to. So, if you remember anything about Dodongo, remember that Dodongo dislikes smoke. And that's exactly what you have to do. Just like in Ocarina of Time, the original Zelda, use bombs wisely. So, like the bosses that I mentioned to you earlier, this guy also has one of those white meters at the top where you can do a certain amount of damage to him, and once you take care of all that, you do a massive amount of damage. Unfortunately there, he got really close to I got really close to depleting that gauge, but then he got away, or got no longer stunned. He will kind of destroy a bunch of keeps and just kind of run through everything, so he's definitely a threat that you want to keep an eye on. But he's also, you can let him kind of free roam. If you want to go running around the stage and capture keeps and look for treasures and get the scatula, then feel more than welcome, because this guy's really not going to go anywhere, and you're not going to have much trouble like getting back to him in time before he just completely destroys everything. You can see he's kind of slow and cumbersome in his movement, but do keep an eye on. Now you do want to, this game does have Z-like targeting. It's kind of, honestly, it's kind of finicky to me, and half the time you'll kind of like lose the way you're looking. It's probably one of my biggest gripes about the game so far. It's just sometimes the targeting wants to act up and just be finicky, but nothing major, so don't even fret about that. But as you saw, the goat scatula fled, and we also just did a buttload of damage to King Dodongo. So we're going to hopefully finish him off again here pretty quickly. Whoops, I don't think I can throw bombs that far, but he can definitely shoot me with a fireball. But even, I'm playing this game on normal difficulty. There's easy, normal, and hard, obviously. But I'm playing it on just regular normal, and you can see most of the enemies don't do a lot of damage, and even when you're surrounded by 200 common enemy, they generally will not attack you. They will just kind of stand still. See, these guys could be smacking me, but they're standing still, which is, in a way, if you're going for challenge, you're not going to get it in that manner, but who cares? It's more of a button mashing, get a combo move sort of game, if you know what I mean. I still wasn't able to kill him, unfortunately. Hopefully one more go with the bombs. This Lizafol is going to jump in my way and be irritating. I just want him to leave me alone, as the Dodongo continues to smash through these keeps with absolutely no worries in the world. But we're nearing the end of this. I'm just going to do this. Actually on accident. What I just did there was you can use your magic meter, and it makes you super strong, just incredibly strong. And when it depletes there on the left, your character will do this supercharged move like that, and you can normally kill a very large amount of monsters with it. So hopefully I can kill this guy right now, because I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, mission successful. That's the end of the first stage. Each stage is seeming to be about 20 to 30 minutes in length. This will be my only episode until the embargo lifts on the 17th, and then I will have a lot more uploaded. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, and will at least bookmark this and come back for my future Hyrule Warriors Let's Play episodes. I'm definitely enjoying this game so far, and if you are on the fence about it, I highly recommend purchasing or pre-ordering Hyrule Warriors. So until next time, stay tuned, subscribe, like, leave me some feedback, and let me know what you think of Hyrule Warriors so far, and what you think of this Let's Play so far. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.